So we're headed into retirement now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you were thinking about it when you were up at the ranch,
Right.
helping Jill out, right?
yeah. I don't know how much we've gotten into that, but when Jill and Robert got together up in Windsor, he was from the Bay Area. She wanted to. She was actually in the Bay Area as well. She went to Mills College and met Robert, and he told her, says, you put together a real business plan on horses, and she was into horses. And he took a look at it, and he went ahead and his company that he had put together a business for the horse ranch, and they bought the property and they bought some horses. Anyhow, he turned off real sick and was in the hospital as much as out of it. And about that time, Jill called, and we had been by to see the ranch there in Windsor on one of our travels, and we had even talked about, we should probably offer to help as what we could, and we thought about taking a leave of absence and what I was doing, and Jill called shortly after there and then asked. She says, "Could you guys anyway get away, come and help me?" And the people I was working for at that time, Transtech, they were very gracious. He says, "No, if it's family concern, your job's here anytime you're ready to come back." So we went ahead up there.
This was about what year?
This was would be about 2002, 2000, yeah, about 2001, 2002. Just a couple of years before we were figuring about retiring. And we said, well, we're going to get ourselves a RV, and we can put it there on the ranch, and we can live that way. And so he actually wanted us and fronted the money to buy the RV.
Robert did.
Robert did, and the company that they had formed, the horse ranch thing. And so I said, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. And we'd just go ahead and pay it off of the money that he was giving us a salary while we were there on the ranch, managing it for him, for Jill. So anyhow, that put us into a new RV. We drove up there and spent about 9-10 months on the ranch.
So this was still not firmly established. The ranch wasn't. You were still helping her
Right.
get it all set up.
Right.
Doing what kind of stuff?
They had bought an old parcel. It's a 40-acre parcel right there, and it had been used, or they were using it as a retirement home for horses. And they had a double wide or triple wide trailer there. So it was a work in progress from square one. Jill needed to hire somebody. She found a Mexican couple that was very good, and they put on the ranch full time. And then fortunately there was a small trailer on the site that they put them up in, so they were living right there.
And there's people that came to visit us at Ryan's at one time?
That was the wife. Yeah.
The wife, yeah.
They had since divorced, and that was Ophelia. And Javier, not Javier, yes, Javier and Ophelia was the couple. They didn't have any children, but he was decent with horses, and he was working the ranch. Anyhow, we moved up there, and then she had another helper that came in and helped Javier, Ronaldo, and he was just on a hourly salary there.
What were they actually doing? So when they bought the ranch, these retired horses were there and they were taking care of them?
Well, the retired horses all went back out because Jill wasn't interested in retired horses.
Oh, okay. So
She and
sold
Robert
them.
had purchased a couple of warm bloods, the dressage horses, and they were going to start breeding. And she bought all of this stuff, and she was all in contact with UC Davis, where they have their husbandry programs going and so on. And so we were in the process of getting all of the pastures and the corrals and the paddocks together. She needed a training facility, so she bought a giant steel building that was erected, and I kind of oversaw the construction on that. And then the materials in there. We built side railings for inside the training facility so that the horses, didn't get their feet caught up in the boards and timbers and the railings and so forth. An open corral and so forth with just exposure, get a horses get bouncing around in there, and they can get their legs.
Yeah.
So anyhow, you're dealing with 6-figure horses here, so you don't want to be screwing around causing injury. We put in a floor in one of the rubber floor in the main barn. We straightened out and tried to organize the storage barn. We had to remove about half of the stalls in it. Then with the construction going on with the new construction, the new training facility, barn, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what she would call it. And the irrigation, at that time, they were pulling, the two workers spent half of their time every day just moving hoses, pulling hoses from point A to B and so forth, because that's basically all they had out there. Anyhow, I went ahead and by guess and by golly and trial and error, went ahead and established and put in an irrigation system, a timed irrigation system for the 40 acres, and put that in.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal. And we couldn't get, it's hard to deal with absolutes because we were getting reclaimed water at where the local Windsor itself. And we were on one of the first of the customers for reclaimed water. So at that time, there was little or no cost to the reclaimed water, but it was really dirty, and it was hard to keep the sprinklers, and some sprinklers wouldn't handle it because there's just the amount of miscellaneous debris that's in it. So getting the different sprinklers and finding the ones that would work, and then
So it was a big old sprinklers in the pastures.
Right. And how big can you go, and things that had to be again below ground. You couldn't have anything above ground that the horses could stumble over or trip over, that type of thing.
Who did all the designing or planning and designing of what needed to be done? And did Jill have a master plan, or did she say, "Here, Dad, I have these 2 horses. What do I need?" Or
she had the concept that she wanted, and she was good at finding sources and so on. When it came to the irrigation aspect of it and so forth, that was pretty much turned over to me 100%. Said, "Here, can you do something with that?" But
and the training area,
the training area, she made the arrangements, researched it, got it, and the initial erection of the building itself that was all part of what she did on that. The grading and installation of the surface, the ground level, and I kind of oversaw that with a contractor.
So you and she got along pretty well?
Yeah, real good. I don't think we ever had any problems.
No conflicts?
No.
Well, I want to do it this way. No, you got to do it this way.
No. I told her up front, you're the boss, and if anything at all, and she gave me pretty much free rein on anything I wanted to do. She went ahead and decided that she wanted to expand the pond. She needed certain requirements because she was going to have boarding horses there as well. So she had to have a certain amount of water available for fire suppression. She had to have a certain amount of perimeter fencing, and since we're using reclaimed water, they had to have the ground had to be graded in certain ways so that the reclaimed water didn't enter a natural drainage structure. I helped with a lot of that information because I dealt with the grading and drainage and so forth as a public works inspector. So that worked out well, but then building a...
Well, like a huge undertaking.
Yeah, it was.
You were there for like 10 months, and then how long was Kurt there?
He was there for probably about 6 months after I was there. And by this time, Jill and Robert had a falling out, and they had gotten a divorce. And at that time, she was just moved into Healdsburg, bought a house and moved into Healdsburg there.
But she still had the ranch.
No. Again, the ranch was all
His
set up
business.
under his business name. So when they got divorced and all that, she got her settlement, and that was the business took over the ranch. Subsequently to that, it was ultimately converted into a vineyard.
After all that? Or...
After all that, and the house during the phase when we were up there, Robert and Jill put a big double or triple wide house up on one end of the property so that they could live while they were building, quote, the house for the property. And this was a 2-bedroom house that encompassed something like 10,000 square feet, and it had 3 small casitas there.
That they were building?
Yeah.
Did it get accomplished?
Yeah. In fact, Jill had most of the work on that already done. That was a lot of the work that she was doing as far as design, interior design, the decoration, the fixtures, the coverings, and so forth. In fact, even after they had gotten divorced, Gary and Jill and Linda and I had all been invited on over. We spent one weekend at the ranch there got shown all of the different things. Really quite special.
Must have been hard for her to leave that.
It was, but she didn't do much in remorse. She had, again, he was a functioning alcoholic, and she became a non-functioning alcoholic because of that. And so consequently, she knew she couldn't stay that. She went to a couple of rehabs.
Yeah.
And that's what really broke the marriage apart, and they knew that they weren't good for each other at that point. Not a whole lot longer, maybe a year and a half after they had divorced, he ultimately passed away. Even after his liver transplant, he
Kept on drinking.
kept on drinking.
So now, Linda was with you full time when you were there, or did she go back and forth to Oceanside?
No, she was there full time. We rented our house out.
What did she do? Did she participate in helping Jill?
She helped Jill. She would run errands. She would basically anything.
Camp cook?
Yeah, camp cook and that type of thing. But we made it a practice that at least one day a week we would get away from the ranch and we would go someplace or take a drive or so
Check out
forth.
the area.
Exactly. Ultimately, this led to a point where a company wanted me back in Southern California, and we came back to Oceanside. Went another year or so, and then we went ahead and sold our house and went on the road.
In that RV that you
Yeah.
had up at the ranch.
Right, in that RV.
So shall we stop here and start another chapter?
Yeah, probably should.
Okay.